Well, everyone, as Michael Keaton says, the juice is loose. We are finally going to be talking about Beetlejuice, the second installment to the Beetlejuice franchise. And yes, there's been people that have been saying, yes, it is a franchise. There are people saying it's not. Me personally, I do think it's a franchise because Beetlejuice is a very household name. So we have Beetlejuice. We have Tim Burton returning finally, creating a more of his legacy of another legendary character. We have Michael Keaton returning as, of course, the legendary character himself, Beetlejuice. We got Winona Ryder returning as Lydia Dietz. We got Monica Bellucci in here as Dolores. We have Jenna Ortega playing as Astrid. Dietz, as well as also William Dafoe in here as Wolf Jackson, Catherine O'Hara, and the list continues. We even have Danny DeVito in this movie as well. But the entirety of this movie, I'm going to say this. If you guys have not seen this film, I do recommend you go see it. I am going to be getting the spoilers on this as well. But I will say this. If you guys have not seen it, this is going to be your one-time warning to click off the video and then being able to go ahead and watch it. Now, I will say this as well. Going into this, there was a lot of things that was perceived in this film, but in the entirety of the film is where you have Lydia is no longer in the same town. She's become pretty much a public figure in the paranormal world. She's hosting her own paranormal show. She's able to see spirits, so she is a medium, and she's dating someone by the name of Rory, who she's engaged to. She met him at a counseling when she lost her husband, so we do find out what happened to her husband, aka Astrid's father. Her and Astrid have a very bad relationship because she blames her for her father, and also him passing away because apparently he went to the Amazon rainforest and he was never seen again. And then also, of course, we see where over and over again is being brought up, of course, of Lydia's father, and the actor who played him was in this movie, but he wasn't in this movie because, again, there were some allegations against him that I think there was reasons that he was on this film. I'm not going to get into that, but again, the entirety of this film is him trying to being in the afterlife and finding out where exactly he goes further from here. And what we do see is he basically got, taken out by a shark. And Catherine O'Hara character, she's obviously devastated, but she's using, a lot of her power to get influence and money out of it. And they go to the town to bury him because, again, the house is still in their name and they're thinking about selling, but the only problem of it is that obviously they're wondering where the other ghosts are, and unfortunately we do see where Lydia states that they found a loophole and they were somehow able to move on. That's how they were able to close that hole. Now we do hear obviously Deo in the movie that was in the trailer, and I think a lot of people were shocked that they were able to put that in the film for so long during the funeral scene. And what we see is Beetlejuice has now some type of a command in his in the underworld, to where he is pretty much in charge of, I would say, a part of the department in the underworld after so many years. And his ex-wife Dolores, who was part of a cult, has come back to find him again and try to remarry him for whatever reason, because it really didn't make no sense of why she was wanting to remarry him again, because she ended up poisoning him when they were alive and he took her out. So it was kind of a marriage/death type deal back in the plague century. And then, of course, we do see Danny DeVito was in here really quickly. He was one of her victims because, again, she was a soul sucker. And William Dafoe was very interesting in this role. He was an actor who became a underworld police chief, which was hilarious. It was one of those where you couldn't always take him seriously, but it was still very entertaining. And what we see with Jenna Ortega's character is she blames her mom for a lot of things. She doesn't believe in the paranormal. She doesn't believe in ghosts. And when she tries to have some time for herself and she finds out that her mother's fiance is moving forward with the engagement on Halloween, she meets this mysterious boy who takes her fancy and he invites her to Halloween so that way they can hang out and whatever. things take a turn more, and turns out this kid is not among the living, and he wants to be with her, but he has an idea of taking her to the underworld so that way she can possibly see her dad, and at the same time to where he can come back to life, but not only knowing that he is actually playing her so that way he can take her life force into him and he can go back among the living, because we find out through Lydia, after someone's trying to sell the house yet again, which was perceived to be the daughter of the house seller in the original movie, where this kid killed his parents, as well as also when the cops found him, he ended up falling out of a tree, and that's what he was wanting to do. So unfortunately, Astrid was tricked, and what we see is Lydia now has no choice but to enlist the help of Beetlejuice to be able to go to the other side and save Astrid, which goes into this long monument of Beetlejuice again crafting up another contract with Lydia to where he can marry her so that way he can save himself and also, of course, her kid. And what we see during this whole segment is she's been seeing Beetlejuice off and on for the last however many months or years now, and the bond is getting a lot stronger, and he is again trying to run away from Dolores, trying to run away from the law in the underworld, and also help Lydia at the same time by his own benefits as well. But what we do see is after finally everything comes to a concord in the very last segment of the movie, where he tries to marry Lydia again, he's not able to, because again, between the police and then Dolores showing up, and Dolores is obviously out for revenge, but between Astrid and Catherine O'Hara's character, because Catherine O'Hara unfortunately does bite the dust as well by her own accord, because of her being very, I would say, just not very knowledgeable and not thinking. And when she does get reunited with her husband as well at the very end of the film. But we also do see where Astrid was able to use her abilities now that we have seen that her mother has. So she has the ability to be a medium as well, and this brought her and Lydia back closer together to be mother and daughter. And Beetlejuice does get, I would say, taken out yet again, and then the police are able to cover everything up, and then they bring a sandworm into the wedding hall and take out Rory, as well as also, of course, Dolores, because Rory was only out to get money and fame by marrying Lydia, because that's all he did. He lied everything from the beginning. But a lot of things came to a close at the very end of the film to a certain degree. We found out what happened to Astrid's father, that he did pass on. That's the reason why Lydia does not see him. He looked like he got eaten by piranhas, is what it looked like. And it was really crazy, especially with him trying to tell them to repair the relationship and not use him to continue fighting. And it did look like that she was in college at a boarding school, to where she was more focused on what she was doing, and Catherine O'Hara's character became very famous for her art, so there was a lot of art pieces that was shown in the movie. All those ugly art pieces we saw in the first one somehow became very, very famous. So I guess to the untrained eye, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, I guess you would say. But overall, at the very end, we had where this segment where it looked like Lydia was wanting to take a break from her TV/paranormal journey and spend time with her daughter and go visit to all these places that her dad wanted to take her to. And then it seemed like Astrid met someone, got married, was going to have a child, and baby Beetlejuice popped out, which is what happened to Lydia in the underworld, which was a joke and a gag. And she wakes up and Beetlejuice is right next to her saying, "I had a very strange dream." And then she wakes up again, it seems like, and you can see an indentation in the pillow and in the bed. So it looks like he's still haunting her, that he's still there to try to have her with him. And there is room, it looks like there's going to be for a third film. So right now it's only going to be her and Astrid. If there is going to be a third film, obviously Beetlejuice more than likely is going to come back now that Catherine O'Hara character is gone, Arthur's character is gone as well, and now it seems like they both have the ability to see spirits and among other things. But overall, what I feel about this movie, I feel like I really enjoyed the movie. There was a lot of comedy, there was a lot of drama. It felt like everything was kind of like a hurry in a way to a certain degree, and that they were focusing on other characters rather than Beetlejuice. I don't think Beetlejuice was in this very much. Dolores was not in here very much. They were focusing a lot on Astrid's character. They were focusing a little bit more on Lydia's character and Catherine O'Hara's character. All these different ones that honestly did not seem like it was like it's a Beetlejuice movie, but it looks like they kind of took the same route of not having Beetlejuice in there as much as he was either in the first one or just the amount of time as he was. A lot of the segments was really good. I felt like there was one scene during the wedding scene where I feel like that the song could have gone on just a little less than what it did. That's really my only gripe. Seeing Michael Keaton return as Beetlejuice is amazing to me, because again, grew up watching him in a lot of different films, especially Beetlejuice and Batman and Jack Frost, among many other characters that he's played. The man's a legend. He's very charismatic, and he's just a great actor, and he's able to bring it. And I think Renard Wider did such a great job at portraying Lady Adiz again, and again, Jen Ortega did a very good job as well as portraying her daughter. I think that she's obviously going to be coming up as the new Scream Queen, or the current Scream Queen of the horror franchise. And I'm all for it. I mean, I really don't have nothing bad to say about this film. The only bad things I can say is it did seem like that they were focusing on characters that were not as important, and also that they were putting things in here kind of rushed to kind of feel like to fill in the gaps of whatever questions fans may leave at the very end of the film. Because there was one scene where the guy that was trying to get with Astrid, that was using her, gets sent to hell by Beetlejuice, and it makes you wonder, okay, how come he wasn't sentenced there to begin with if he passed on? But again, that's just an unanswered question. The other thing was there was a lot of throwback to the first film, from the music to the book to the previous characters to characters that we thought that we would never see again or did see again. And there was a lot of, I would say, tying the bow on a lot of things. But I will say this: if they do not decide to do another Beetlejuice film, I'm perfectly fine with that. Would I like another Beetlejuice film? Absolutely. I think we would love to see a third film of Beetlejuice and be able to enjoy Michael Keaton returning one more time as Beetlejuice, and being able to see him portray the character one more time before anything else happens. Because obviously everyone's getting older, and not everyone's going to be here forever. And I think this was the perfect time to do not only one more Beetlejuice, but honestly, we could probably do one more Beetlejuice as well. I think that honestly, if we do one more Beetlejuice, that there will be enough time. If they probably do it maybe in the next couple of years, maybe 2-3 years, it could be another Beetlejuice movie. Who knows? But overall, guys, what was your thoughts of Beetlejuice Beetlejuice? Is it a good film? Is it a bad film? Is it okay? Is it as good as the first one? Or is it not as good as the first one? Or is it worse? Or is it better? What is your opinion? Let me know down in the comments down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the movie as I did. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. If you did, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, share the video out to your friends, comment down below what you guys thought about both. And I'll see you as always on the next one.